So you guys saw the first presentation I did at the All-American Print Supply open house, and I'm gonna play for you guys the second presentation at the All-American Print Supply open house, okay? Enjoy. This is my YouTube channel, and I have 121,000 subscribers currently, and this number right here, 2,000 videos that I have, 2,000 full-length videos. So I wanted to show you guys that because it took a lot of work over the years to complete 2,000 YouTube videos, right? So I want you guys to remember that, because when you get your pieces of equipment and as you're growing your business, it doesn't stop right when you get your machine. You're still gonna have to put in work, right? And you're still gonna have to put in the effort to reach clients, to continue to get business. You're still gonna have to be innovative and think of ways to offer products and services to customers or potential customers. So I got into the garment decorating industry by accident, all right? And so I don't know how many of you guys have subscribed to my channel. If you're not, like, comment, subscribe right now. You can pull out your phones, feel free. I won't be offended if you subscribe. Okay, nobody, no takers, okay, that's fine. All right, so I originally started a YouTube channel because I wanted to make music videos for people to listen to my music. And that went okay, but I didn't see the huge opportunity in YouTube because I was young, but I was successful at it, but I didn't hit it head on and start uploading like crazy, kind of like people are doing right now. So one day, my mother asked me to get some shirts made for her uncle, for my uncle, which is her brother. And I had been watching YouTube videos, and I knew about this machine. I had watched a video on this machine called the Silhouette Cameo. And at the time, I was fresh out of film school. And when you go to film school, you take graphic design classes like Illustrator and Photoshop. So I thought in my head, I'm like, I know how to do this graphic design stuff. Instead of us paying to get somebody to make the t-shirts, I know how to design the t-shirts. I'm real good at Illustrator. Why don't we just go half on this machine called the Silhouette Cameo? I'll figure out how to use it, and then I'll make the shirts and we'll still have the machine. She said, that's a great idea. So went on Amazon, bought the machine came, no instructions. Had no instructions. And that's important. I want to remember that. The machine had no instructions. When there's an issue in an industry, that's room for you guys to capitalize on. And when you're looking for customers, you want to kind of like search for the customer that needs your service because you're solving a problem, right? And they're looking for people to solve their problems, right? So that's an easy way to find customers. So because of how much of a helpful individual I was, and I loved playing with cameras, hence why I went to film school to learn how to make videos properly, but I was making videos prior to, I decided to figure out how to work this machine by looking at YouTube videos and playing around with the machine myself. I decided to start making some videos to show other people how to work the machine so they can have an easier time. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm gonna make some videos to help somebody else out. At the time, I was making all types of videos, how to program your remote, just because I wanted to help people. I don't know. So I would get questions from that one video, then I'd make a follow-up video. And then I started selling clothes because I had the machine now after I made my, and I even made a video. I should bring it up. I don't remember what it's called. But I made a video showing when I made that first shirt. Because my uncle, he has ships in the West Indies, and he has a crew, and the crew needed some uniforms. So I made a little ship design and with the name of the ship at the bottom, and that went great. So I started making clothes with my production company, A-Dubb Productions, on it, and trying to earn a little money on the side, selling my production company. So that went good, but what started happening was people started seeing me wearing my stuff and say, hey, can you make something for me? And I'd say, yeah, I can make something for you. What do you have in mind? So let's pause there for a second. So I see you guys are interested in garment decorating because you guys are here. But how many of you guys have on stuff that you guys made? You do. And that you made. Okay, so you got some embroidery and you got, what's that, screen print?
DTG.
DTG? All right, excellent. So if you're having problems finding customers, a great way to find customers is to become a walking billboard for yourself and the products and the services that you offer, right? So without even trying to get business, people would approach me, friends, and they would say, hey, can you make me something? So that's how I really started to my mind started to expand because I had vinyl. And then I said, you know what? This is going great. How can I make more money? And what popped into my mind was this thing that I had seen when I was younger called embroidery. When I was younger, we didn't have very much money. So when we would go shopping and I would go see the shirt with the material intertwined on there, I just looked at it like, oh, this is expensive. I can't afford this. We can't afford this. And that was embroidery. So I'm like, I wonder if they have a small embroidery machine that I can get. Because if I can get one of those, I can charge more money, right? So did some research, found some more YouTube videos, and found a machine called the Brother SE600 sewing and embroidery machine. So I went online. I saw how much it cost. It was a little steep at the time. So I said, okay, let me take a step back and figure out how I'm gonna do this. Sold some more shirts, got the machine. Again, no instructions. Great. I already knew how to handle that issue. Went great the first time. I'm gonna start making videos on this, right? But just like a lot of you guys thought when you started off, I thought you just took an image, put it on a flash drive, plugged it in, and press embroider, and it doesn't quite work like that. Right, so I thought that too. So there's this whole process called digitizing. Another opportunity. So what did I do? I actually, for the first time in my life, I took the initiative to really, really teach myself something. And I went online and got pirated version of digitizing software, Brothers software, as a matter of fact. I bought it, at the time it was on eBay. I think you can get it for like $1.50 or something. It was ridiculously low. Now it's higher because more people, and I'd like to think it's because of me, because I have over 100 videos on how to use that machine on my YouTube channel. So, and I told people where they can get the software on some of my videos. So, you know, it is what it is. That's why that market, I think the software now, same place, probably like $10. I don't know. I know the price is higher now though. So printed up the manual and started reading the manual and taught myself how to digitize. Now, I didn't read the whole manual. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I read the whole manual. I printed it up, but as I want to know something, I'd find the page where it's at and I'd figure it out, and then I'd practice it and learn how to digitize. Started making videos on digitizing and how to use the machine. Now, I had always heard YouTubers talk about this thing called affiliate marketing and affiliate income, and how Amazon had this thing where you can become an affiliate, and it was the easiest company you can join. And Amazon just so happened to sell the Silhouette Cameo as well as the Brother SE600 embroidery machine. So I started not only teaching about these machines, but earning an affiliate income. And by that time, the YouTube income was going up. Man, I was rolling in the dough. So I thought to myself, well, what's the next step? The next step is to get one of these bigger machines so I don't have to keep on switching threads, right? That's the next step. But the problem is these bigger machines cost as much as a car, right? And in my mind, I can barely get the small one. So I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know how this is gonna happen. So I just kept on going, making videos with the small one and making videos with the Silhouette Cameo, and that was going great. Everything was going great. The business was growing. Everything was going fine, but I was still restricted to the small designs that the Brother SE600 can make, and I always wanted that thing. So one year, I forgot what year it was, but one year I made a video and I said to my YouTube audience, I said, I'm staring at the camera at home by myself, really weird, like talking to myself, because that's how it is when you make YouTube videos. In a room talking to yourself, you got to get used to it. So I said to my audience, my make-believe audience, that by myself, and I said, guys, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but this year I'm going to buy a multi-needle embroidery machine. I don't know where the money's going to come from, but that's what I'm going to do. 'Cause remember that, guys, because when you make your mind up on something, you'll figure out a way to make it happen, right? So that was my goal for the year. I didn't know I wasn't making that type of money. I didn't know how it was gonna happen, but I was gonna make it happen, right? So that's what started fueling me to kind of like make more videos, and I didn't know where the money was gonna come from. So I started researching multi-needle embroidery machines. Called this company, called that company, called a bunch of different companies. Now, luckily, and I'm lucky that I started researching this late, because had I found out about this thing called 0% financing, I probably would have jumped the gun earlier. But at the time, Ricoma was offering 0% financing. And that's what enabled me to get my first multi-needle embroidery machine. So I said, my credit was great, luckily, and I got approved for the machine, 0% financing till 2026. And this was about 4 or 5 years ago. I think I owe $1,600 on my machine right now, but I'm not in a rush to pay it off. But I have been paying off in advance, right? So I got that multi-needle embroidery machine, got into it again. They had some type of instructions, but it was still like, I don't think you guys are doing this right, so I'm gonna make some videos on my own to help some people out. And I started making those videos. Next thing you know, Ricoma's going, hey man, like your video. You know? I'm like, yeah, I like my video too. How much do you like it? So ended up flying down to Miami, talking to them, and became their first affiliate. I became their first affiliate and started making videos for them and started earning affiliate income with them. So now that I had this multi-needle embroidery machine, the machine that is really a machine that you can start a legit business with, right? Because I don't have to switch threads anymore. I can embroider bigger designs. I started thinking a little differently. I'm like, okay, now I can really try to start making money, like significant money within this garment decorating industry. So I started calling everybody I knew. Who do I know that's a school principal? Who do I know that is in charge of the church? Who do I know that has a store? Who do I know that has a daycare? Who do I know that, all of my friends, just thinking outside the box, trying to get people so I can make more money, right? Because I'm money hungry now. So then, what was the next piece of equipment I got? I think at the time, Heat Transfer Warehouse started looking at my videos, and they contacted me, and they sent me a sublimation printer. And sublimation was like magic to me. How many of you guys have done sublimation before? You done sublimation? What was your first experience doing sublimation? What was when you first pressed it and peeled that image back? Yeah. Heaven. Okay, what about you, ma'am?
Well, mine is more fail.
Fail?
Yeah.
Okay, but when you did your first successful sublimation, how'd you feel?
It felt good.
Was it magical?
With all the stress behind it, yeah, I guess so.
Stress. Sublimation is easy.
No. When it comes to the color.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was trying to get black, instead I was getting brown. So.
Okay. We'll talk about that. But how he felt, that's exactly how I felt. Because I don't know, you guys never done sublimation before, but what it does is it turns the ink into gas, and it actually fuses into the shirt, and it's it like never washes out. So when I saw that, I was instantly in love, and I thought, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna be a millionaire. People are gonna see these shirts, and I'm gonna make a bunch of money. And it didn't quite work out like that, but you can always dream, right? So I started getting more and more gear, and at that time, I started falling in love with the idea of showing other people how they can supplement or replace their income with garment decorating, because what was happening that I didn't realize was happening is that because I had all these different methods of creating merchandise for myself, I was a shopaholic, but instead of spending money on, the latest expensive shirt, I would make my own stuff. So over the years, what started happening was, instead of spending the money on that, I would spend the money on supplies, and at the end of each month, I noticed more and more money in my bank account. I didn't know where it was coming from, but where it was coming from was the money that I wasn't spending buying dumb stuff, right? So next thing, what was the next thing? I think it was a DTG printers came out. Probably was some other stuff in between that, but DTG printers came out. And everybody had horror stories online about DTG printers. I was even afraid of it, right? But I was always on Facebook Marketplace and all that, because I was always selling stuff, even prior to doing all this. I was always selling stuff on online markets, and so I knew that they were online. But I was afraid. Like, who wants to go meet somebody and buy stuff? I live in Philadelphia. I don't know, you guys, there's some sketchy guys in Philadelphia. So, but in business, sometimes you have to take a risk, and you have to just put yourself out there and believe in God and trust that you're going to be okay. So I went on Let Go. I think it's OfferUp, and I found a DTG printer that somebody wanted $7,500 for, and he said it was brand new. It was one of those deals that's too good to be true. And by the way, guys, most of the times when you see a deal online that's too good to be true, it is too good to be true. It's not real. They're trying to lure you in. It's a trap. It's trying to steal your money. Most of the times, but when you have experience online, you can kind of like navigate your way through that. So I got the guy on the phone, and I was able to negotiate the deal for $4,500. It was still sketchy. It's still sketchy. I'm still nervous. I'm gonna go meet this guy. I didn't take cash with me, and I told my friend who lived in the area where he lived, where I was going. Asked him to meet me there a little bit after I arrived. The guy showed up. He even looked sketchy. Like, the whole situation was sketchy. I vlogged about that too. It's on everything that I'm telling you guys, if you guys go to this channel and go back in the videos, everything I'm telling you guys is on here. It's documented from that, when I first opened up my Cameo to when I first opened up my single needle embroidery machine and unboxed it, to when I first started digitizing, when I first started selling digital assets online, the digital files online, when I first opened up the Brother SE6, the sublimation machine, when I got the bigger sublimation machine, heat presses that I purchased, everything is documented on my channel. So I'm not making this stuff up. That's why I said, I wasn't gonna come up in here and show you guys pictures of each video and stuff like that, but I'm like, I got to just tell a story. And if you guys are interested, it's all right here, right? So, even when I first got my Ricoma machine and how big it was, and putting the legs together and putting it up on the stands and, figuring it out, trip to Miami's on there, everything's on there. So, where was I? DTG sketchy guy, yeah. So he showed up, and it was kind of weird because he showed up in a cab. He showed up in a I think it was an Uber. So I'm really like, I'm nervous, and he's like, he's like almost limping, kind of, sort of. I'm like, this is really weird. And then I'm in front of an apartment building. I'm like, man. So he takes me to the side of, he didn't go through the front door. He took me to the side of the building, up the fire escape, but I'm behind this guy, and I'm sizing him up now. I'm like, I can take this guy. I can take him. He looked a little frail, like he needed, he didn't want any. So we walked down the hallway, got to a door. He lifted up the underneath the door and got a key. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he knows what he's doing. He knows, like, hindsight, that's probably not a good indicator, but he knew what was going on and how to get in the house. So he opened up the house, and he's like, it's right here. I saw the DTG printer, brand new Ricoh R1000 DTG machine. He knew where to go to get the other stuff, and I'm like, okay, so he knows something about what's going on right here. So I started asking questions like, can you open it up? Can you plug it in? And I noticed there was no ink in the lines, so I get my phone out and I'm taking pictures now. I'm acting like I'm shining my light so I can get a closer look at the ink, but I'm actually taking pictures and recording the serial number. So I'm like, all right, great, man. $4,500, right? Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to the bank. So on the way to the bank, I called Ricoh and gave them the serial number. They said it's not their machine. It was a machine that was sold by Ricoma. So I called my Ricoma rep, because I was in touch with Ricoma by then, and they said, this guy just bought this machine. He paid $18. It's like, what's his name? Yeah, that's the guy. And she did some stuff, sent me a picture. Yeah, that's the guy. He just bought the machine. So I'm like, they're confused, I'm confused. So I'm trying to piece together why somebody would be doing something like that, right? So by the time I got back to the house, the person that lived there, which is a girl, was sitting on the couch, right? Went to the bank, got the $4,500, sitting on the couch. So I walk in, getting bags together, getting all the supplies together. I said, hey, because it seemed like a tense type of friction between the two. So I'm like, I'm trying to break the ice. I'm like, I know you're happy to be getting this out of your living room. I say that to the girl. She was like, yeah, and get everything else out too. So that's when it clicked to me. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So I'm like, okay, pick this up. My buddy came up, helped me he even gave me the hand truck. So he was in a situation where he had to get the stuff out of here or else she was probably gonna throw it out. So that's what I pieced together in my head. So he said, nice dolly, hand truck. You can have that too. Okay, thank you. Got it out. And then, so my friend and I, we sat there in the parking area and talked a little bit about the situation, and we're trying to figure out what's going on, but by this time I'm with my friends, so I'm okay, right? So the guy comes out and he walks to the front past us, and he's like waiting for an Uber or a cab or something. I'm like, okay. And besides that, we had talked, and he was coming from his grandmom's house in Philadelphia, and the place where I met him from was North Jersey or something like that. So it was a whole situation. But what I tell you all that to say, sometimes, things work out in your favor. And strangely, things work out in my favor more often than not. Because if you look on my channel, I got addicted to paying less for things. So I searched online market a lot. I bought another multi-needle embroidery machine, same price, $4,500. So $4,500 became my thing, right? I bought another two-head machine, $7,500, all Ricoma machines. Then I paid full price for another one and full price for another one. But that's basically how I started my business. And since then, since I became a walking billboard and was able to figure out different ways to find business for myself, as well as growing a platform online, which is these videos are my soldiers, right? So part of owning growing your business is it's your responsibility to market, to promote your business so that you can, the equipment that you buy can bring you that income that we all want to get. So part of that is, how do I spend the least amount of money and get the most amount of people to know that this is what I'm offering? So these videos are my soldiers. So I make videos and I show people, this is what I'm doing. This is how you can do it. So now I'm thinking, how many different ways can I make money from this, right? So I'm offering you the service, but you don't have to do it if you want to. I can do it for you, all right? So I'm showing you how to do it, making money online. I'm affiliated, selling the product. So there's so many different ways, and with some of these devices, there's different ways that you can make an income, like the DTF printers and the DTG printers, Epson F2100, the L2, the R2, the A4. These are all pieces of equipment that can continue bringing you an income time and time again, right? Get past the learning curve, learn how to use the machines, and the rest is up to you. It's up to you what you do with it, right? Because nobody's gonna know magically that you have this equipment that you can start helping their business, right? It's up to you to put yourselves out there, to start promoting your business and promoting yourself so you can get the business that you want, right? So that's what I'm just showing you guys, different strategies and different ideas to get your wheels turning on what you guys can do as individuals so that you guys can have successful businesses. So why don't we sit here, since we're in a nice enclosed environment, what are some of you guys thinking? Like what methods can you use? And we're trying to help each other out, just like I help people out on YouTube. Let's help each other out since it's a small group. What methods can you think about that you could find new business for your business to grow? What, and you thinking about anything? Just spit it out. Anybody?
I think for me, it's all about communication. If your clientele is good, they refer other customers to you.
You heard what he said?
That's the best commercial.
You heard what he said? Remember when I had a conversation with you earlier? I said, just give them the hat. And what's gonna happen in that instance? That's the reason why I told you that is so to give you guys some context. I spoke to this young lady outside, and she said she was working on a deal with a basketball team, a school. So rather than have a conversation or continue the conversation, and hey, did you guys think about it? I told her no. Just bring them some product. What's gonna happen? This is what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is eventually he'll use you, and if he doesn't, he'll recommend you to somebody else, or he'll use you for something else. You know, he might have somebody that he knows that makes the garments, so he might recommend you to the other team or the other school or the family reunion shirts, right? And that's what's gonna happen because somebody else is gonna see it, and his wheels are gonna start turning. Or he might wanna start his own t-shirt business, right? So just like you said, see how that intertwines?
But that's what I do a lot. A lot of times my customers will order something small, and they was like, "How much do I owe you?" Get out of here! You don't owe me anything.
Right.
You sure? Yeah.
And they appreciate you.
They appreciate you.
And next time they'll be throwing that money at you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's the bigger picture right there.
100%.
A small fish to get a big whale.
100%. I like that.
And you know, just agreeing with you, I have my machine. I got the A3+R. And if you ask my wife here, I buy things and I always want to get the top things, but I'll sit on it. You know, I'm good enough to be dangerous.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, so I'll sit on it, right? So to your point, we had this machine. I already paid the machine off. I got my own another business that I work for that's doing well. But this is where my passion was, right? But I just didn't find the time. So to your point is,
I can see the look on her face.
yeah,
I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out in a second.
So the point I want to make is I sat on it, kind of funnel with it. I can make the shirts when I want if I will. I think that was in my left, but it wasn't really making me no money. It was just sitting, right? So I train. We train. We do Krav Maga. And I started sitting up bringing all these shirts in. So I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. I started wearing these microfiber towels, and I started taking the logo because I'm part of I'm a black belt there, so we're
Wow.
fathered in there.
Okay.
So I started putting them just the logo on my towel. I asked for permission from him. He was like, cool. I started wearing it around. People started asking. So I went and bought some more. I bought a hat. I gave my hat up. I gave it to him. That turned into 36 hats.
Look at that.
Turned into 100 towels.
We're not making this stuff up.
And I'm saying it came so fast that today I'm here to look to upgrade because this just happened within a month.
Yeah.
And now it's like, how am I gonna get this many shirts out with this size machines? And it's constantly coming. She's got a school, Cal State University, Dominguez Hill.
It's only gonna get worse, bro.
It started pumping up, and I was like, what's going on here? We don't have no time for this.
Yeah.
So, just a true statement. And I think the fear of giving stuff free was like, man, I ain't gonna get my money. You want to get your money back, so I'll pay like $6, $7. Give me $6, $7 for a hat. But nobody really wants to put front. So when I just started buying on deals that I did make, I bought an extra hat or two, and then I was spending the time to do something to say, hey,
There you go.
And then it's just started like clockwork, man.
100%. Now, to help you out a little bit, because I'm like you. I have an idea. I know I'm going to do it. I'll buy the gear, and I know that, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this secured right here. So when something happens, when I feel like it, I can jump over here.
Yep.
And that's the way our minds work. So I apologize on behalf of him. But it makes sense. It does make sense. I promise you it makes sense.
I bought my A4 machine, 24 inch. How long did it sit in the warehouse in the box? Months.
When I bought my first heat press, I plugged it in, I used it, I made sure it worked, I put it in my garage on the shelf. It sat there for a few years until, because I knew I wanted to make shirts, I didn't know how to. It sat in the garage on my shelf until I bought that Silhouette Cameo. True story. So we all that's just how our minds work.
And that's the part.
And it's all about preparation, because in the event that something happened at the job and you needed to make money, you secured that way to make money. So that's how we think. We think ahead, right? So we can secure the bag before we even get the bag, right? In the event that the bag stops over here, we got something else to get going. So he's just preparing.
I support him.
She does.
With his, when he first got his vinyl many years ago, it sat there and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start making shirts. I go, okay. He wasn't doing anything, so I got him a client and I go, hey, I got a shirt business for you.
FYI, it was the first one I kind of was one of my eyes. I had a car club and I went into a shop and I was like, man, I'm paying like $56 for this vinyl. And I started looking and cutting and I started looking online. I go, man, the vinyl was like $3 for
Right.
a yard. They making money, so I took my crew and I'm like, $25. I'm cutting rates and I'm getting big orders. And then it came with this press. I didn't know what this press was, but I just pushed it to the side. I pushed it aside, and then a friend came over. Hey, you press a shirt? I go, no, I'm cutting stickers. And he was like, oh, you do shirts. So I looked up that, and then I was like, oh, shit. So I ordered. I started pressing shirts.
That's how it happens.
She had a friend, and that's kind of where it started. I give her. She came home like, I got some order. Guess what it was? I'm like, oh, a couple hundred. It was $3,000. I was like, how? What? And the profit was like $1,800 after getting everything. I was like, when?
Right.
So that's how I kind of did. But it took months to get there.
So yeah, thank you for coming out.
No problem, man.
You guys missed the majority of it. How far did you guys come from?
Chino.
Okay. Did you make that shirt?
Yes, I did.
What process?
DTF.
DTF and.
DTF.
Okay. See, they're wearing their stuff. So what machines do you own currently? Prestige? The A3 Plus R?
Yes.
Awesome. How are you liking it?
Love it.
It's slow, but
Yeah, once you get.
like I said, right? Do you guys watch my videos?
Actually, I was just showing our son your video on the way. I was like, this is where we're gonna get to see.
YouTuber?
Yeah.
Nice. I see his little rig over there. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, once you get what it takes,
Yeah. So what are some of the machines that you guys have? You guys have embroidery machine. You guys have vinyl cutter. What else?
We're getting ready to get that Juliet over there.
The Juliet. Okay.
And then we've got a Cricut. I've got the Brother SE 1900.
Okay. Yeah.
Topaz, and we just got the Ricoma.
Ricoma TC. What about you, sir? Nothing yet?
Press.
Okay. What have you guys seen over there in the showroom floor that you're interested in?
I fell in love with that big DTF machine.
Oh, the XL2?
And the one that's cut in half in price.
Okay.
I'm mad. Mine, I got the A4, it cost me 20. And I'm like, don't put that in my face. Don't put that in my face and have up. Now I gotta think about that.
If the business calls for it, pull the trigger, man, because I always tell people, if he didn't get that machine that's sitting there, he would have spent the money on something else. So it's better that he spends the money on something that's gonna make him money. Even if it's not gonna make him money today, it's gonna make him money eventually. You know? What about you guys? What are you guys looking at that you're interested in over there?
Us?
Yeah.
I have a barrel gun for embroidery.
Okay.
Golden,
Yeah.
for banners and stuff like that.
Okay.
I have which one else? The Epson M2100.
How you liking that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I need something bigger though. I got like a lot of school orders right now.
Oh. Yeah.
It's not keeping up.
Did you ever try to give your school DTF?
Oh yeah, they don't even know.
They don't know the difference,
They
right?
don't know. They just want something that lasts.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they're like penny pinchers.
Right.
They just want to go to the lowest one.
I'm glad it's not just me.
And it's just the little one like this big. That's not gonna come off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. We just want our design on there. They don't care how it.
So I did a
As long
large.
as it holds up, I think that's the most important one.
I did one of my high school's graduation shirts this year. I did half DTG, half DTF. They like the DTF shirts better. DTG shirts felt better, but they just like the DTF shirts better because I think some people actually like the feel and some people like the vibrancy of it. I think it's very, very close. So what I'm saying is either way, you can't go wrong. DTF, DTG, you can't go wrong.
DTF, it's a game changer.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't had one complaint.
Neither have I. As a matter of fact, DTF took over my business, to be honest. DTF took over my business since I got the DTF printer. I still do a lot of embroidery, but DTF hands down. Once you put yourself out there and people know that you're able to give them a film with their design on it, because people want to make money too, and some people don't want this equipment. They might not have the means, but everybody has room for a small heat press. And they can start businesses like that. So if you got a way of creating DTFs and you make it your job to let people know that you have this equipment, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the business, and you're gonna be looking to upgrade.
I don't know if this is the platform or the forum.
It's all right.
But we would like to ship, and we're kind of reluctant to ship. You know, 'cause a lot of our customer base is based in Ohio. How do we ship the DTFs to make sure that they're safe by the time you get to Ohio?
What I do,
Yeah.
you can do several different things for shipping. You get the shipping tubes.
Okay.
You can buy them on Amazon or other places that you can buy them from. But the shipping tubes, I think they're 15 by 3 inches, and you just roll up that DTF. I put my DTF in a plastic sleeve, put it in there, seal the top, put some tape on both sides, print up your shipping label from UPS, ship it off. That should not hold you back, because guess what? When you buy your DTF, you've bought stuff on Amazon before. They ship it to you. So why are you afraid to ship?
Worried that just make sure that there's no, like when they press it, that there's no oil or things like that. So just make
Yeah.
sure that it
Do you
holds
guys
up.
have that problem?
Sometimes.
Yeah, we've been having that problem as well. I was talking to one of the gentlemen over there. He said it has a lot to do with humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had oil on the top where
Powder.
but I've never had oil on my actual prints, so it might be humidity. It might be humidity.
Sheet print, sometimes you can see spots on
Interesting.
the DTF.
Interesting.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, it's got to be humidity. I'm thinking, because I've never had that issue, and I've been.
I guess there's another gentleman that I watched, and he is somewhere in Northern California, and he's having that issue too. He said the same thing, it's humidity, and he had to buy a humidifier to bring in.
Dehumidifier, man?
I bought the
Yeah.
humidifier. I bought a small one, though. I bought it from Walmart. And I put it right next to the dryer. I cut it on and everything. And we were still having that problem.
You bought a humidifier or dehumidifier?
A humidifier. Because that's what I was told about.
Getting both.
You're adding moisture. You got to buy a dehumidifier to remove moisture.
Yeah, take the moisture out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
There's a warmer months than a humidifier when we don't have it. You know, you got
Yeah.
enough humidity.
Right,
So
yeah.
you gotta balance it out.
Now, is there a gun for it to be able to test the humidity or?
There's gauges that'll tell you the humidity in your room. You sit that next to your machine, and
Okay.
that's interesting because you guys are here in California, so I guess you guys have more issues than I
And,
do.
you know, this
I
year has
don't.
been one of these crazy years with the weather.
Yes.
Where it's been like
Up and
really,
down.
really hot more
Yeah.
than normal.
Yeah.
And rains, normally we get rain in different spectrums. So it's been crazy this year.
You might want to consider building a little tent around you.
Okay.
But you
Or
know,
has
I
equipment.
did put a tent over mine. I put one of those tents that you put outside. I
Yeah.
had a plastic bag as if I was a surgeon.
That could actually add humidity to
yeah,
it
and
too.
that's
So.
what it did. So I
Yeah.
took the tent down.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get the dehumidifier.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. Yeah, you got to figure it out because it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth the time and effort it takes to figure out those situations because you guys know the large companies are making a whole bunch of money off this stuff, and you guys got a huge opportunity with companies like All American Print Supply selling this stuff. It's a huge opportunity for all of us to make some money. Big opportunity. So, what are you gonna do? Thank you guys so much for
Hey, man, thank you.
Appreciate it.
coming in here. If you guys, I'm gonna be around, so if you guys want to talk to me, take pictures over there, and I'm more than available.
All right. Hope this works.
Huh?
Hope this works.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. We'll see about that.
I know I missed
It's okay.
yesterday's presentation on what's a better machine, the DTF.
Oh, I left everybody in here confused. Everybody was confused.
For someone small.
So I would tell you first decide what type of business you want to be. Whether you want to be a business that you create a finished product, like that product right here, that's DTG, right? do you want to make finished products and sell it at retail price, or do you want the ability to make a finished product, but you also want to be a company that provides DTFs? So that's your answer right there. If you want to be able to provide DTFs and you want that method to be efficient, then you need a DTF printer as opposed to a DTG printer that can produce DTFs. But another side to that is, if you do want to produce DTF printers, I would highly encourage you to get the rolling system that goes with it, as opposed to using the oven that you got to cut, and because it transforms the machine into another. Like when I first got my Prestige A3 Plus R, I appreciated the ability to make DTFs, but when I got the oven that rolls it, shakes it, bakes it, roll it back up at the end, it transformed the experience. 100% transformed the experience. Now, I love the thing. First, it was okay. It was cool, and that's why I told you, it's gonna transform your whole experience. It's gonna blow your mind. It literally changes the machine into a whole other machine, just by having that roller system. Because right now, every 5 minutes, every couple minutes, you gotta come cut, put it in the oven, set the timer. Oh, I forgot the powder. Exactly. So now, for a few, this is gonna make the difference with you, whether you wanna sell transfers or not. Because if you can streamline that process, when somebody orders 20 transfers, versus having to stand there, cut, shake, bake, one.
Okay, so that's,
You know what I mean?
that's similar to the, you don't want to keep changing the thread. So let's
Exactly.
Okay,
So
I
it just makes sense. And when you start selling transfers, you make that money back so fast. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's funny because when you buy the machine, you have that mindset like, damn, why I have to pay this much every month? How am I going to make money? And then all of a sudden, as soon as you buy a machine, people start, hey, do you do this? Do you do that? Yes, I do.
Right.
I didn't know you do that because you didn't ask.
And each order, I mean, of course, it's on an individual basis, but you're averaging like 150, 200, and your payments are probably going to be that or less. You know, it's your job to go out and find these customers, and you're going to be making like, I make a killing. I'm not going to say I make a killing every month. And that's why I'm like, what else y'all got? I want that too. You know what I mean? You know, so that's why I got all those embroidery heads, because I'm like, every method I try to figure out, how can I make this more efficient? And then as soon as I figure it out, I make a video showing you guys how you can make it more efficient. And it all makes sense, because the more time you can save, the faster you can get to the next job to make that next set of money. You know? So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate it. Of course. Hope you guys enjoyed that pretty long presentation. I enjoyed giving the presentation. Everybody was so interactive. I had everybody captivated. I'll be speaking next at Deco Summit in Miami, at Ricoma's Deco Summit. So I'll see you guys down there. All right, see you guys on the next video. Peace.